Crystal Franco here. I am really wanting to maintain our full moon event. On my end right now, it still says that it's waiting for us. So I want to make sure everything's actually going before I keep talking. I am really wanting to maintain.
Go ahead and you're live.
Okay.
You can refresh.
All right, now that I know it's really working, um, Crystal with a K and I love this event so much that it felt really weird not going to the office yesterday and gathering with everyone like we always do for the full moon. And I thought about doing it last night, but since I don't have anywhere to be tonight, I decided this works out really well for me to come to you from my home when we are now past 417 and the full moon is actually into Libra, which is what the full moon is for this month. And it's technically like more fully full tomorrow. And so it felt really good to be able to do this tonight. So thank you so much for being here and joining me in this virtual circle. All right. Now, obviously, some of the things are going to be different. My kids might like that tonight. I'm focusing on just kind of talking about the moon and talking about the oils that I would be using and some of the stuff that I have been doing through, the past couple of weeks but specifically the past couple of days that tie into this moon really nicely. And since I don't generally lead the yoga, my only tip is going to be about breathing and opening your heart. So let's get into it a little bit, yeah? The full moon in Libra, I'm going to pause myself here and just say, if you want to ask a question in the chat, you can, as well as I will do little mini distance healing sessions on the first 10 people who comment who want something like that, because that is what I normally do when we're live, and I can do distance work, and for me a lot of times it's even more powerful than what I do in person. So that's also a piece of all of this. All right, so Libra, it's the scales, it's always about that balance, and for me that comes more into like harmony, right? But Libra is also very focused on beauty. And so when I think about Libra and the moon, it makes me really think a lot about gratitude and noticing the beautiful things. And when I was feeling on the oil, I couldn't pinpoint just one oil, and I was really drawn to more of the stuff that I do on a daily basis even. So like right away I was thinking like rose, right? Beauty and skin, and that's what the Libra sign rules is like the kidneys, the skin, components of beauty, some of the endocrine system. So when I think about rose, that's just so powerful for that. And so I think about using that as a hydrosol though, versus diffusing it. It's not a super common oil to just diffuse, largely because it's usually diluted into another carrier oil because it's a very expensive oil. It's a hard one to extract, but it's so beautiful and so potent. And it dives a lot into love, right? And that's going to be a big theme of everything that's going on right now. So I'm thinking if you have a rose hydrosol, spritzing it, smelling it, using it for your skin, do it, do it. The other one that gives me similar feelings is neroli, and that's another one that I use all the time. And it just really makes me feel radiant and beautiful and like juicy and alive and all of those like soft feelings. Okay? But then if I'm thinking about like really using an oil and you're wanting to diffuse something to support you, especially with everything that's going on, I think about frankincense, because frankincense boosts your immune system, and it connects us to those higher realms, and it helps ground that air ether while also letting us connect to everything beyond us, right? And so that is like another one that feels really good at this time. And then I've also really been enjoying lime personally. That's one that I haven't used it the last couple days, but that was one that I was using especially on a lot of the cloudy days. So those are my oil choices, and as we kind of go into everything, some of that might even make more sense. All right, so as I was feeling on this and paying attention to what I have been doing lately, it just all comes to the heart for me. So, even everything that's going on with the COVID-19 stuff, it's like lungs, which is grief, and like the respiratory system, and the heart, and everybody who has like heart ailments, being even more affected, and diabetes, and so blood sugar things. And so it just all, that's a little bit more down here, but it's all so much this heart centered thing for me, as I've been like feeling on all of the things, all of the people feeling these deep sadnesses, these grieving the loss of income, grieving all of this stuff, right? And so that's also this center. And even for me, there have been times when I've felt like that constriction. But what I've been doing for myself is I've really been stepping into love, and like in every moment, and even breaking like old habits that make it harder to be in that state of love, and then choosing to come back to love anyway. And then it's also really tied in to like if there are like cracks in like relationships and things, it can bring all of that to surface. This full moon can. And so I've personally been extremely grateful with how much work I have done with all of those subsequent full moons from 2018 all the way to now, to really get into this different place with the way I relate to my partner and my family and my staff and everything, that it's really helped me to like really do what I'm doing now even more fully. And so that feels really, really good. So there's a lot of that that's really important. Okay. Just waving my daughter away. So much love. Okay, so tied into that though is a lot of like self-care, right? And that is something that we're all needing to be doing right now anyway. And that starts with that self-love. And so being able to like look at those things and see the beauty in yourself, and be able to like really draw on all of that and feel all of that. And with the Libra ruling the kidneys are fear. And so, when you're feeding into any of that fear or any of those things, then that makes it hard to be in the state of love. And so for me, the last like 3 days have been really poignant for drinking a lot more water. I've been feeling like sleep has been a little bit weird, and I've just been feeling these different things where I'm like, I feel like I really need to nurture my kidneys. And then, I'm sitting here diving into this full moon information. It's like, oh, rule the kidneys. So I think that that's really fascinating. And I encourage you, that's another piece of self-care, right? And that helps our skin. And so with them, Libra ruling the skin too, it just really ties in. Water also really helps with emotional flow. And so during all of these emotional times, to be drinking more water and letting it just cleanse us and go in and out, feel the feelings, let the flow, and that also ties into detoxification, which is linked up with this moon. And that has been another thing that I have really been feeling for myself. And so I've had like a lower appetite, and have been listening to that. I've wanted more just like fluid type things, soups and like warm teas. And then in Ayurveda, we just recently kind of had equinox, and we're transitioning seasons. And so that's a typical time for cleansing. So this detoxification of everything is another like very poignant thing that is happening. And then this full moon just amplifies all of that. And so whatever you feel called to do to kind of have some of that detoxification for yourself, if that's just drinking the water, if it is doing a different type of physical cleanse, eating really easy to digest foods, whatever that looks like for you. I've also been taking Triphala, and that has felt really, really good for me. It's been a long time since I've been like really called to do that. I've also been called to like castor oil and doing castor oil packs, which I haven't done on myself, but I did one on my daughter the other day. So that's really nice. So I did look into, after like attaining a lot of my own senses of what I have been doing and what I have been feeling, I did look into our favorite page, the Forever Consciousness page, on her insights for this moon. And one of the things she was talking about was how we have like this ripple effect, and it's kind of that butterfly effect where it's like your actions really affect another person, and that's obviously really happening right now. We're needing to do things and take actions to care for everyone else around us, including ourselves, and having that ripple effect, and how much everything is really connecting us to the oneness right now. And it becomes like just more obvious how we all are one, and it's been just kind of sped up and thrown in our face a little bit right now. And so that, to me, when I think about that, it returns me to that bringing everything back to love, because we really want to be in that state of love energy for ourselves and our self-care, and then being able to serve others. And so that feels really, really good. And of course, some of that tied into like my weekly oracle reading for my members, and it was very much focused on like gratitude, because of how much gratitude can amplify love. There's even like the concept of how gratitude can like supersede love, because you can love something, but once you're in that gratitude state, it just is like so exponential. And then beauty. So it all just kind of tied in, and I thought that that was really, really neat. So I think that I have kind of summed everything up here, which is generally about how long I take when I'm in person with everyone to talk about what's going on with the full moon. And so since I don't see any people in this specific chat box here, I'll probably leave it open to the Facebook thread. And so in that thread, if people want to comment on there, and just say your name, or you can actually private message us too on the Moorhead Massage and Wellness Facebook page if you want to be somebody who does receive one of these distance healings. They're going to be really brief. I'll probably just focus on one chakra, one main point, one thing that comes up. I'm not going to do an entire scan of your entire system, but when I'm in person, I generally kind of go to where I'm most drawn and work on that one thing when we're in person. So that's going to be what I do now as well. And I just want to kind of peek at here and make sure I didn't really miss anything from my notes. Not really. So just enjoy doing the spring cleaning, whether it's physical and you're cleaning your house and getting everything all snazzy, as we're someday going to be able to return back to life out in the outer world, or if that's spring cleaning for your mind, body, spirit, soul, everything inside of here in this container, right? So enjoy that, and I hope that you enjoy stepping into the love. And if you notice your heart kind of curving in, caving in, just kind of rolling your shoulders back and doing what you can to nurture your heart center and your love space for you. Thank you. Happy full moon.